Step number 2 in the creation of your CMA wizard, you just simply come over here and click on step number 2, and that is what is referred to as the comparable, and that pretty much is where you're going to go to actually perform a search. So when you click on comparables, as you look to the right where it says add comparables, look at this as the beginning process of performing your search. So I click on add comparables, and I'm going to run the search under residential. And from there, that will open up my search page, and I'll just simply enter my information for my residential search. I'm looking for properties that are comparable to my subject property. So I can stay in the zip code, or if I want, in a previous recording you would have learned information on how to use our map tool. I can zero in on areas specifically within the radius of that subject property, and then of course you're going to enter your status. Now a CMA is very subjective in terms of the content that you enter in your criteria. Some agents like to look for actives, back on market, as well as solds, whereas other agents like to bring in pending. It's really relative to your personal situation and what you feel is best. Now, because I did select an off-market status, I want to make sure that I want to tell the computer when I want the search to begin. So I come to the close of escrow date field for my SOD, and I can either enter my beginning date and my ending date here, or I can come to the far right under date range and just go back whatever period of time I think is suitable for my area. Then of course, again, all relative to what you prefer. If you want to put in a price range, you can, or leave it open and see what other homes have sold for within the range that you think would be proper for your client. If the property is a 4-bedroom home, you may want to compare apples to apples, or you may want to open it up a little bit more. If it's a 2.5 bath, maybe 2 to 3. I would just say you may want to consider keeping your criteria that you enter to basic information. You can always expand from there, but it's always a good idea to keep an eye on your count to see how many listings you have at this point. Right now I have 33. So this again is the process where you simply come in, enter your criteria in step number 2, and then click on search. And from here, you're going to locate those properties that you feel are comparable to your subject property. Whether you bring in a few actives or pendings, as I've stated before, is relative to your own individual situation. After I check off those sold properties that I want to narrow my view to only what I selected, so I come here and click on check. The next very important step so that these properties are part of my CMA is I come here and I click on Add to CMA. It wants to know if I want just the selected properties, all listings, or just the first current listing. I want all 6 that I selected, so I click on Select. And then that brings me all of those properties that I see here. I do have some options if I want. I could just go ahead and come over here and maybe email a few of these properties, or I can add more listings if I want. If I selected one and I wasn't quite sure, I would just check it off and click on remove. I could even change the order. I can click on one of these listings and move it up or down, and I could even customize right here my field headers that I see. So I have a lot of options available to me in this step. This concludes my presentation on step 2 of performing a CMA wizard.